we've done full spooky house except for laundry room, bathroom and kids room. But just you wait till next year, okay? Because that is all going to change. But everything else is fully spooky. So let's jump right into it. Okay, let's start with the boudoir, since this is where we're at. I wanted the theme of this room to sort of be like a witch's apothecary. I kind of wanted the whole theme of the house to be aesthetic Halloween, in the sense it's more like a gothic, dark, brooding atmosphere that wasn't going to scare people or look tacky, in the sense of like, oh look, we've got Halloween decorations up. So there are some bits that, don't get me wrong, it's not necessarily something I would keep up all year round. However, so in the bedroom, it was the witch's apothecary. I split it over chest of drawers area and then behind the bed. I saw this creator that I really love watching on YouTube. She did something similar with like 3 sheet ghosts and she draped it over her bed. And I just thought that looked absolutely amazing. And I thought to myself, I could do that with the black creepy gauze that I had bought. So I went to the reject shop, I cleared out all of the black that they had left on the shelf, and then I just started to drape it. My thing was that I feel like I want it to be a bit denser and a bit thicker, whereas the creepy cloth is so thin that it does just look sort of flat on the wall. So what I was thinking was, if this was something that I wanted to do next year or keep up a little bit longer, I would get some black tulle fabric and then I could drape it and it would look more like a kind of curtain. So I feel like that's maybe something that I will upgrade to next year. However, for the fact that my entire Halloween decor was done on a budget, so every time I looked at something to buy, I kind of said in my head, like, is it under a certain amount of money? So majority of things are under $20. There is only a handful of things, I would say, from like Bath and Body Works that are under 50. Or everything else I have made myself because I couldn't find it in store, I couldn't get access to it, etc, etc. So everything is done like really, really cheaply. So even though I've bought a lot over the course of the past few months, which makes it overall spend not a budget, everything that I have bought has been done on a budget. So even if you didn't go full on as much as I did, there are certain things that you could be like, okay, I could still do that, because everything is, you know, like Kmart, reject shop, TK Maxx, different things like that. I added the little string lights from the reject shop. I believe they were like $2.50, and honestly, I have since gone back and bought more. And in the warm white light that have come out for Christmas, which for whatever reason are $1 dearer than the coloured ones. For me, I've really thought about it this year. Actually, since I put everything up, lighting makes or breaks decor. Lighting, you could have 3 pieces of decor up, right? Like 3 skeletons, and you put a purple light on it and it shines up the whole house, and you're all of a sudden like, oh my god, that house looks so cool. Lighting really, really changes the whole thing. So it's the number one thing I would say to invest in, is like lighting. And I think for next year, now that I've really built up my foundation decor here in Australia, next year I'm really going to focus on very specific areas that I still want to do up, like the laundry room, the guest bathroom, the guest toilet, and then the bathroom, and then the kids' rooms. But I will really be investing in lighting. I obviously have the bats everywhere, which were like super cheap, couple of dollars. I bought tons of packets of them off Temu this year, and they are basically everywhere in the house, because I definitely think that when you've got one piece that kind of ties all of your decor together, it looks really cohesive. So for me, bats is that thing that pulls everything together with my Halloween decor. So that was the bed. And then when you look at the chest of drawers, apothecary aspect is really brought to life again by the LED candle pillars, which I got from Temu, and they're like hurricane wrapped plastic LED. Again, the candle holders that they are on, apart from one on the end which is from Dusk, the other ones are from Temu, and they're so nice. I'm going to use these again for Christmas. A lot of my decor that I buy for Halloween I also reuse for Christmas, so a lot of these things you will see again at Christmas time. Obviously not things like skulls and everything, but you will see a lot of main kind of core pieces. These candles flicker at night. They are so nice. I've been sat reading my book at night with one of these candles whilst Mikey falls asleep, and it feels like I'm in a Victorian era. Like, I'm totally feeling the fantasy. The cauldron that I did in here was a DIY that I did last year. I got those cauldrons on Temu. I really get upset about the fact that America gets these huge cauldron pots from Walmart, and I never found them in the UK. So that's why I had to get these were the biggest ones that I could find as well from Temu. However, I just really wish, like, if any retailers are watching this by any stroke of luck, can you please give us the big craft witches cauldrons that we could really do a massive DIY with? Like, I really dream of doing like a big arch with the stacked ones. And the other thing then here we've got is the little bottles, the bat's heart. The skull is pure concrete. That was from the Morris show. There was just a seller making them, and I think he'd had a couple of drinks by the time I went to collect it from him. And he was like, "Thank you so much for buying it. These are so difficult to make." And I was like, if you had two of them, I would have bought two of them, but you only had the one. Then the frames. So I kept a picture of myself and Mikey because I thought romantic gothic, it's a nice little picture of us two. And then I also got the printed out picture of Hecate. Now, when I did the video walkthrough of this before the holiday, I hadn't yet done this DIY. So I left it out, the frame just blank, but I'll put the picture in of what it looks like. When you buy Mod Podge, it's a type of glue, and I got it from Bunnings. I got the gloss one. When you paint onto a printed out picture, it leaves the brush strokes, so it kind of makes any print out photo look more like a real painting. And I really loved that aspect of it, so I was definitely going to try it with this picture. And I do think it turned out really good. I'm glad I did it. And I think this frame that I also got from the reject shop works really well in this space as well. Then we just added the creepy cloth and the bats to kind of tie everything in. I didn't want to take my canvases down, so I just covered them up with the black gauze and then the bats, and then it just sort of ties the area in together. And again, at night time when all the lights are on in here, it is so cozy, it is so comfy. I absolutely love it. Oh my god, I've been sat on the floor for far too long. My feet. I'm so old. My whole body's like seized up. Okay, I digress. We are now in the cinema room. We're in the cinema room, and honestly, this room feels like me the most out of this entire house, even without Halloween decor up. But in here, what I did was I made the spooky sofa, and the spooky sofa consists of the Book of Spells cushion, the Moon Tarot cushion from TK Maxx, and then my Spook-tacular one. I've also got my giant skeleton from Kmart, which I absolutely love. I feel like he's the best $49 I think I've ever spent. What I really liked about this room that I did was that it just feels fun. It just feels a bit more, I don't know, like there wasn't a theme for it. I mean, I suppose it could be sheet ghosts. Like even the Beetlejuice poster says the ghost with the most is back. And then I made the sheet ghost lights. Again, these are literally just the candles that you saw in the bedroom. So if you just look under the cheesecloth, it's literally just those candles with the holder. And then I draped the cheesecloth, which again I got from Temu, over the top, and then drew some eyes on and then added some little bats. And I just think that that was like a really cool DIY that I really wanted to do. It was originally going to be for our dining table, and then these arrived later after I'd done the dining table, and I was really happy with how that was looking. So I just thought, you know what, it looks perfect in here, because I hadn't really thought about buying much for this room. Who's left their mug? Who's left their mug on the side there? Looking at you, Mikey. And I just thought, do you know what, this is actually perfect. Like I said, Ghost with the Most is back. It's right here, next to the Beetlejuice candle. Cool. One thing I will say is these books that I've got, right, they are sort of me because it's all about style, fashion, interior design, etc. I've got a couple more here, which this mug is rudely covering. But I was thinking of maybe painting these and then printing off a different cover, like a Book of Spells or something, or like a witch's something, and then Mod Podging it on top, and then it would just look like a new kind of haunted book instead. So more like Halloweenish. And then I know this isn't a Christmas one, but I was thinking I could also buy some more of these and do Christmas, because I believe I bought a pack of 3 of these off Temu and they were only $7. So I'm like, I could just do that with a bunch of different themes. Just interrupting this video a little bit. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, but you really like seasonal decorating, creating childhood magic for your children, your pets, your own inner child, any of those things, lifestyle vlogs, please consider liking the channel. Tell me what you're decorating. What themes have you got? Do you go all out for Halloween? Are you just doing a little bit? Are you not decorating at all, but you just love to watch it? Let me know in the comments and let's jump back in. This little hocus pocus vase. So this was again some more vases that I had bought off Temu. They've been sitting about our house. They're just beige. They're just nondescript to my personality or like who we are as a family. And I had my friend round to paint the little mini pumpkins that you can see here. And I'd finished painting mine and the kids were still doing theirs. And I literally just sat there and I said to my friend, I want to paint something else. Like I've got it in me that I need to paint something else. I saw that vase, I picked it up, and I just painted it purple, and then we have some spray acrylic and I just put some green and orange on, and then I just started painting like the moon phases on, and then I just thought I'm going to do some bats and then I'm going to write hocus pocus, and actually it worked out really well because I think in this space it just looked dead cute. This is what I say about everything's dead cute. Again, I'm not going for spooky, scary, gory bodies hanging from the ceiling. Like no one's nervous system or subconscious mind needs to be taking in images like that, okay? No one needs that for their nervous system. Also, I'm just looking down here. Mikey's not been able to find this for ages. Anyway, so I made the little sheet ghost that's on the end. This is just on top of a little vase. The ball that's on there is just a Christmas bauble to give it the head shape. These ones to give the head shape is little white pumpkins that I had. So again, like you can use whatever you've got in your crafty arsenal. This is why I really, honestly, anytime I see like little crafty bits, I just get them, or I'll keep things because I'm like, it'll come in so handy at some point. I don't know when, but it will. Next theme is the entryway of the house. Now, what is a little bit frustrating, so this is what I was saying earlier about lights change everything. There is no light switch or sockets in the entryway of this house, and it is probably the darkest area for it because the front door doesn't have any windows or anything on it, so there's no light coming in other than if I angle the blinds from the cinema room towards the hallway. Something that I was thinking that I wanted to do but I didn't actually buy enough of the string lights. Again, this is why next year I'll be fully focusing on lighting, is I wanted to add some clips to the top of the ceiling and then zigzag the lights along it so that the lights would be above and coming down. And I thought that would then really light up the space. I could have got the purple and orange ones, and then at Christmas time I could change it out and do warm white, but then it would just add more to the space. We do have the wall sconces, which are battery chargeable, and they're like magnets. They just attach to the wall once you put two little picture hole screws in, so it's not damaging the wall whatsoever from the point of view of like we're renting this house. The battery on them doesn't last very long. We've got them in here as well, and honestly, like when you've sat and had them on for like 2 or 3 days, the battery just goes on them, and I've not charged them yet. If I had the battery lights on the ceiling as well, that would add more to it. So this was also why I added in I always say Abercrombie, Anthropology spooky houses that my mum very kindly purchased for me back in May this year when they were first released. I got 3 out of 4 of the designs. I was tempted to get the 4th one when I saw they went on sale, but I haven't done it. I didn't particularly like the design of the 4th one, but I digress. So I've got these on here, and the craft coffin was just a plain coffin that was $8 from Kmart, and I got some hot glue, added the details on the spider, the RIP, and then painted it with a mixture of black and brown paint, and then put some silver on the top, and I think that looks really cool. Unfortunately, my little boy gets his bunny shadow and puts shadow in jail in there. And then the little ghost iridescent candle, which smells amazing, from TK Maxx. The witches hats were actually, I thought they were a bad Temu buy. Okay, it was one of the one Temu buys that turned out to be quite bad because it listed it as a proper 3D hat. However, it came as a 2D paper hat. Our friends come over and I thought, do you know something? The boys can decorate the witches' hats and we can draw on them. obviously I got far too into that DIY. So it ended up turning into that. I had some fabric bows and different things, and then I just tied some bows on them. So they looked quite cool. So that ended up being our floating witches hats, which you will see in the rest of the house I have also followed through. I hope you guys can still hear me and not the washing machine because it's having its mad minute as it finishes its spin. Okay, dining room. This dining area is, I've been so excited about the dining area purely because when we first moved into our house in the UK, when we bought our first home as a family, we had a dining table and then it lasted about 6 months before we sold it because Ella was starting to walk about, we needed more space. So ever since then, for the past 6 years, we have not had a dining table, and it has been the only thing that I've wanted because when it comes to decor, it is so fun to decorate a dining table. Like, I see so many cool themes and I'm like, I want to do it, I want to do it. With this table, I wanted the theme to be, again, gothic romanticism, dark glamour. So what we've gone for, and you will see this, I love using disco balls at Halloween and Christmas. Again, it's one of those pieces that transitions between the two seasons very easily in my decor. And I love the fact that I can buy so much of one thing and it has multiple uses. Okay, everything that I buy, I'm like, how is this gonna, I can't just buy this if it has one use, right? I had all of my pumpkins, I added the disco balls, so these are again a mixture of sizes of different disco ball baubles that I have for a Christmas tree. Bats I added to the black candlesticks, which again I already had because this is Halloween is my personality. The sticks, the branches throughout this were from cherry blossom branches that I had in our bedroom. I bought sort of when we first moved in, and I don't know why I bought them because they were not my decor at all. It was one of those things I was like, oh, it was on a Pinterest image. So I was quite happy when I had the idea for this table to just use these, take all of the cherry blossom flowers off and use the twigs. What I did was I kept the flowers and I thought I could throw these out, but am I ever going to use them? I don't know, I should keep them. I put them in a bag and I will show you exactly how I use them in the next video for our outside decor. I am so glad that I kept them. That is all I'm going to say. The hanging frame. This is why I wanted a dining table forever to decorate. The hanging frame has clamps that you can do the full frame all the way around the table. But I just took the top bar and then suspended it with fishing wire from above the table and then suspended the Harry Potter floating candles and then the creepy gauze, and it all looks, I just think it looks brilliant. I think it looks magical. We've got the wand to turn the lights on. Axel loves it because he's always like abracadabra. I don't know if I would put this in the video actually. I got these bat placemats from TK Maxx and that ties in with that whole theme, so I've been using them, and some spooky Halloween plates which have just made dinner time so much more fun, let me tell you. Okay, into the kitchen. There's not a ton in the kitchen because I don't have a ton of prep space. What I do want to do is, do you see that shelf right there? I want to move it down a little notch and then I want to measure it and buy a microwave that fits in that notch because this microwave is too big and it doesn't fit in there, and we don't need a massive microwave, we just need one that fits a bowl in it. Do you know what I mean? So I'm thinking I might do that, and then I would have this whole kitchen island space that I could do like a little display thing on, and then that would be really fun next year. So what we have in here is we have Halloween tea towels that are on display, and if anyone touches these I will cut your hand off. My husband uses them to take things out the oven, and I'm like, the oven mitt is behind that door. It's attached to that door. It's right next to it. But for whatever reason, he has demand avoidance and he's like, I'm just going to use these ones. And I'm like, anyway, that's just me being picky. In that corner there, you will see I've got a little cake display, what I got from TK Maxx. I really love the little patisserie Halloween trend this year. I've never really done a classic orange Halloween and I was quite excited about doing that. I got the little Halloween ghost with the pumpkin from TK Maxx as well, and I thought he looked perfect in this area together. And then I made the little orange pumpkin canvas to tie the orange in more for the space and give it more of like a dedicated zone, and with the little pumpkin pumpkin string lights. Then the last thing that we've got in this space is my little ghost basket, which is from TK Maxx. I got the wax melts, the recently deceased wax melts, and the burner Can I also just say, by the way, that this vampire blood candle from Bath and Body Works is the nicest, and I'm not even joking, the nicest Halloween scent that I have ever smelled. Maybe even, oh, it's like definitely top 3 for me of like all-time favorite scents that I've ever had. It is just so bloody nice, mind the pun. And like, how cool is the lid? It's just epic. It's so heavy. It's like strawberries, but not overly fruity and overpowering, but it has like some like musk in it. Oh, it's just so good. Whilst we're in the kitchen, look at the Halloween decoration, Halloween invites that I made. Halloween lolly hunt. This is a sneak peek, I suppose, of what our outside decor looks like because I mimicked it on our house. There's the disco balls, there's the ghosties, the skeletons, there's the pumpkins. So yeah, this is, I was debating for ages and ages, like, do we throw a Halloween party? What do we do? For me, Halloween day itself is about a Halloween themed dinner, trick-or-treating, Halloween themed bath with like glow sticks and a special bath bomb from Lush. That has always been our Halloween tradition, and we would just like trick-or-treating is the main event. Here, I believe that our kids that trick or treat, I just don't know how many houses are going to do it. Are they going to be on like one, all in the same street, the houses that are participating? Will we have to trek like all over town to kind of go to like 5 houses? I don't know. So what I thought about doing was, okay, why don't I do a lolly hunt, aka a sweetie hunt, if you're not from Australia. In Australia, they call sweets lollies, which really threw me because lollies are lollipops, like like what do you call them? Suckers? I don't know. Lollies are lollipops. Candy, sweets is like everything else, all other confectionery. So anyway, called it a lolly hunt because that's what I knew everyone would know what it was. And I'm just gonna do like a hunt in the garden because we have the huge garden. And I was thinking about it as I was falling asleep last night, like, what's it going to be? We've invited all of Ella's friends from school. We've invited our friends to come along. Costumes are mandatory. And I will do lolly bags for everybody. So I thought, could kids actually find the candy? Well, if there's like 17 kids, some might grab more than the others. And I don't want any of the little ones getting left out. So I'm going to do like a treasure map. And they've got to find, I'm going to cut out cardboard Halloween symbols like a bat, a witch's hat, a spider, something like that, and then I'll hide them around the house, like in the garden, like under the trampoline, on some trees, whatever. And then they've got to mark off on their own little treasure map. Once their map is finished, they can come up to me and I will give them the lolly bag. That's how I'm going to do it. So it's fair for everyone. All the kids get to find it. So that's what I'm thinking I'm going to do. And then it's it's just after school. So then if people are wanting to trick or treat, they can come here, do this, and then they can go trick or treating if they want to. And we might very well do the same as well. But we're all dressing up. We're all very excited about it. And that's what we're going to do. And I thought then it could become an annual tradition for everyone in Mora will know that I'll always do a lolly hunt or something. I don't know. So I thought that could be quite nice. And I'm excited about the invitations. I feel like they look very, very cool. Ella came out of school yesterday. And one of the little kids was like, Ella, are you going to invite me to your party? Because I think she saw someone else's invitation, but she wasn't in her class. So cute. Okay, now we are in the living room. This is the last place inside that is decorated. So what this was the one space, honestly, I was like, I don't know what the vision is in here. I was sat staring at Canva and asking Mikey, like, what theme could we do in here? This has just been a little bit of things that have kind of come to mind, right? There's a lot of bats. What I did was I saw Next were selling 3-pack of wall bats and they were wrapped in twine, I believe, but they were $41. And I thought, not expensive whatsoever. I could buy them or I could make them. So I cut out, because we have tons of cardboard from all of my parcels, I cut out a bat shape tons of times. I went to Kmart and bought a $2.50 ball of yarn for each one, and I wrapped them and wrapped them and wrapped them. And I really love how they turned out. I wanted it maybe to feel more like mystical, mystical, magical palm reading, purely because what my inspiration ended up coming from was the fact that I have a palmistry hand ornament. Before we went on our holiday, I went back into Reject Shop because they didn't have the wall hanging pictures that I wanted. Went back in, they had one of them on the shelf. So I grabbed that one, added my little ghosties here on either side of the table, again from Temu. Added the bats going up the wall, and then for the ceiling, I suspended the remaining Harry Potter candles that I had and the witches' hats that I bought that was actually the right listing. So put these here. This has made this space really cozy. Anything that you add to the ceiling immediately brings things in a bit more. And because obviously we haven't been able to like paint the walls, we haven't been able to put our touch on things. Like, if we had this house, we would immediately put wall paneling up everywhere because we did that in our UK house before we sold it, and immediately it added so much like luxury to it. It felt like a luxury home. Anyway, that adds depth to a room. It adds dimension to a room. And when you've just got magnolia blank walls, there's not a lot of depth or dimension. So adding things up the ceiling draws your eye up, and then having things on the ceiling makes it feel a little bit more enclosed, which works in this space because, as you can see, it is all open plan, and it just works so well having this here. And when you're like cozy at night time, it's just really nice. I've got my curtain lights that are from Christmas up on this window here as well, so that it kind of peeks through the vertical blinds, and I've got my lights that wrap around the little olive tree here as well. What I also added in here, which you won't have seen on that video, is this skeleton, it's not a skeleton, sheet ghost that was from Temu. This had a face printed on it, but it had a mouth on it, and I don't tend to like sheet ghosts with the mouth on it. I just like the eyes. So I flipped it inside out. I added another one of the little bows, and then it came with a black hat, very similar to the ones that are hanging up here. But the kids have like a velvet and lace hat that Ella had from her Wicked costume, and I've put that on there instead. This is a balloon on the head, and then it's on a stand, and you fill the stand with water. And I just thought actually that works really well in that space to look, I don't know, like she looks like she's conjuring spells. I really enjoy it. What I will show you though is this ghost that I got from Kohl's. That's a bigger version of the one that you saw under my TV. The little one under the TV is about here. When I saw this on the shelf, it was the only one, so you'll need to tell me if you've been into Kohl's if they have any more designs of the ghost, like holding anything else like a pumpkin, because that, I was like, that was probably the most impressive piece of Halloween decor I've seen in any of the stores in Australia this year, because I was like, that looks like something TK Maxx would sell. That looks like a piece of actual home decor. He actually works really well in there because I didn't have anything to sit in that shelf. Okay guys, well I hope you enjoyed the interior design of what I've done for Halloween decor. I hope it's given you some inspiration maybe. I hope everyone is looking forward to Halloween. I hope you've got your costume picked out. I hope that if you don't go trick-or-treating, you just put your favourite Halloween movie on or something, watch Addams Family, Casper, Hocus Pocus, or like a scarier one if that's your thing. Like I said, I cannot do it to my subconscious. I would be on edge all the time if I did it. Ever since becoming a mum, whatever it is, my gore level is just completely intolerable. Like I can't deal with it. So anything like that, anything scary, I can't do it. But cutesy, fun, family fun, wholesome Halloween, I'm all for. Tim Burton movie marathons, oh, my favourite. So hope you're all getting excited. If you're in Mora and you are going to be doing trick-or-treating, let me know in the comments, or let me know when you see me, because you can definitely come to our house and trick-or-treat. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.